was captured at 5 in the morning on October 2nd, 2022. In it, 3 men are shown standing in front of this house's front door. They're carrying weapons and wearing masks resembling the ones from the movie The Purge. One of them sees the doorbell camera and immediately puts his hand over it. For a good portion of the video, all you can see is his glove, but for a second he uncovers the camera, revealing all 3 men up close. They're seen leaned up against the wall and crouching low to the ground, clearly trying to stay out of the view of anyone inside. That's when the homeowner finally wakes up to all the motion detected notifications on his phone. He pulls up the app, but all he sees is a glove covering the camera. Having not yet seen the earlier footage, he goes on the speaker and tries to identify who's on his front porch. The men do not respond, so the homeowner called the police. By the time the police arrived, though, the men were gone. Many believed they were trying to lure the homeowner into opening the door so they could rob him. But why then not try to convince him to come to the door when he came on the doorbell speaker? It's more likely they were trying to pick the lock while the camera was being covered. What they then planned to do when they got inside is anyone's best guess. This woman had just gotten back from walking her dog. Her doorbell camera shows her starting to take off the dog's leash when she looks over to the right, causing her to quickly pick up her dog and get inside. Immediately we find out why. A man comes into frame and walks right up to the front door. He tries the handle, but she managed to lock it just in time. The man then starts putting on gloves, and she also mentioned how he was carrying zip ties. He looks into the house and tries the door handle multiple more times within the next few minutes. Eventually, her neighbor comes outside. To this, the man picks up a nearby garden hose and acts like he's doing yard work. Once the neighbor left, the man walks around to the house's back door. He tried forcing the back door open, to which the homeowner locked herself in a room and called the police. In the time it took them to arrive, the man tried breaking in almost every window to the house. He broke off the screen to one of the back windows, but was ultimately unsuccessful at getting inside. By the time police arrived, he had left. There wasn't much the police could do by that point. The homeowner ended up posting the video to TikTok in the hopes that someone could identify the man. As far as I could find, no one could. 10-year-old Graydon Dowland is a kid from Riverton, Utah. It was around 6 on a night. He was alone walking home from basketball practice this night. At some point during his walk, he noticed a 4-door sedan driven by 2 men slowly lurking around behind him. The boy started walking faster when he saw it. Then, the car drove right next to him. The men inside rolled down their windows and told him they had candy in the back seat, trying to entice him inside. This happened only blocks away from his house. He ignored the men and only started to walk even faster away from them. A few seconds pass, and he makes it to his house's front porch. His family's house had a doorbell camera, and as Graydon approached, you're actually able to see the car in the background. He continues to look over at it as he walks up to the front door. He tries the front door handle, but realizes it was locked. At the exact same time, the car's reverse lights turn on, and it starts heading towards him. He yells out and quickly grabs nearby rocks to defend himself. He then runs to his next door neighbor's house. Their door was unlocked, so he let himself in and immediately locked it down. Behind him, the car can then be seen turning around and following him. For the next several minutes, the car lurks around the area, waiting for Graydon to come back outside. Police were called and a report was made. Creighton described the men as being in their 30s or 40s with no facial hair. Both Creighton's family and the police have almost no doubt in believing the men were trying to kidnap him that night. This clip shows a mother and her kids quickly packing their belongings in response to an evacuation notice. It happened in Canyon County, California, around the time a wildfire was raging across the area. In the back of the footage, you can see it. Fire and smoke loom over the neighborhood in the hills behind. They pack as fast as they can, but they don't know how much time they have. Eventually, a man runs across the street, warning the family that the fire was coming up. They finally leave the neighborhood, evacuating it to safety at a nearby hotel. A few days later, the fire around the home died down, and they were able to return and survey the damage. Somehow, their house remained untouched, although the same can't be said for others in the neighborhood. Multiple nearby homes were completely destroyed by the fire,